If you as a business owner don't understand your numbers, you're not going to succeed. I doubled my revenue in 2025, but my profit was not doubled. And I thought, I need to bank more money. This is ridiculous. I have far too much revenue a year to not be banking more cash than I am. So that's why I reached out to Paul for this program, because I knew his key messaging anywhere online is about profit over revenue. Hey, welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 171. This is a review episode. I did one of these late in 2025 about an e-commerce group I was in, like a course, an online course. I've since left that course and I have joined a different one from a different founder. And I want to share with you today my experience inside his course. His name is Paul Waddy and the course is called eCom Grow. He has different tiers. So depending on your monthly revenue, like all of these courses have, depending on your monthly revenue depends what sort of course you would slot into. I'm at the course where I'm in eCom Grow, which is monthly revenue of minimum 10,000 in monthly revenue up to 100,000 in monthly revenue. So sort of past the startup stage and into the sort of like building a business up to scaling up to a really big business type group revenue. That's the group I'm in. And I want to share with you my experience about it because I want to share a couple of, I suppose, key things I'm learning from inside this course that have been like incredibly valuable for me as an e-commerce store owner. Like I share my learnings with you guys from my clients' accounts when I manage their meta ads and their Klaviyo email marketing. But I also share with you my own e-commerce store growth and what I'm learning as a business owner too. As an e-commerce store owner, like I'm in the trenches with you guys. I'm here growing an e-commerce store too. In 2026, I haven't hung up my hat. I'm not an online guru by any stretch of the imagination. So I want to share with you some of Paul Waddy's, I suppose some of these things are probably key to his brand. You have probably heard of him. If you don't know the name, you probably will recognize him. He wrote a book called Shopify for Dummies, which was a bestseller, and he's got some other amazing credentials, but he also has a marketing agency as well, separate to his e-commerce growth, mastermind type online course memberships. I knew there's a word for it, memberships as well. But some things about his brand, and there's a couple of things I want to share with you that have been key insights for me since I joined a month ago. Like I've been in there a month, so I'm really new. I'm sharing it with you now though, because I'm at the precipice. When you join at least eCom Grow, it's probably different with his startup group. I'm not sure about the startup group fee structure and things, but with eCom Grow, I'm in it for a month, and then at the end of the month, I then roll into a yearly contract. So I'm committed to a year at the end of this month, which as I'm recording this is 3 days away, and I'm going to stay in it. I can't not. His resources, I will say, the resources he has, the experts he has, and the breadth of training is unparalleled. So I came from e-commerce equation. I talked about that last year, which is very meta heavy, like really meta heavy, and a bit to its detriment meta heavy because profitability is not often talked about, but revenue is talked about a lot. Whereas with eCom Grow or with Paul Waddy's programs, that's a very small slice of the massive pie. He talks about wholesale, wholesale, retail, profit, loss, your statements, zero, your dashboards, shipping, influencer gifting, Amazon. Like he has such a wide product launches and product drops, branching into the US and international growth. And each of those categories gets equal attention. The one that gets the most attention, Paul seems to be, from my very small, knowledge of what he's like, massive attention to detail guy, and massive in that if you as a business owner don't understand your numbers, you're not going to succeed. And I know that was the message I needed to hear for 2026. I doubled my revenue in 2025, more than doubled. So my revenue was up over 100% in 2025 on 2024, but my profit was not doubled. And I thought, I need to bank more money. This is ridiculous. I have far too much revenue a year to not be banking more cash than I am. So that's why I reached out to Paul for this program, because I knew he was heavy on profit over revenue. And that's one of his key pillar, I suppose you would say. His key messaging anywhere online is about profit over revenue. So I've got a couple of notes here. He talks a lot about that your MER, your marketing efficiency ratio, you just need to set a budget for your marketing and then work with that. Basically, let Meta do its thing almost to the side. Then you need to focus your attention on every other aspect of your business, including product shipping and your postage, how much you're discounting, sales, and if you're too much of a salesy brand, what new product you're researching and launching. He talks about like what marketing channel, what other sales channels are you on Amazon? Are you on other places? Like, are you wholesale as well? Do you have a retail outlet? Have you done any brand collaborations with like the Iconic? He talks about all these other components of growing a profitable business, and marketing and his or Meta, his Meta teachings and learnings and focus is one component of all of those things. So I found that refreshing for myself to just set a budget on what I'm going to spend on Meta. And then I can see my MER, my marketing efficiency ratio, drop, which is a good thing. If you don't know what your marketing efficiency ratio is, it's a percentage of your revenue and how much you're spending to get those dollars. Like, how much am I spending on Meta to get those dollars of revenue? I can see that percentage drop, which is a good thing. Like, you don't want to spend 100% of your revenue on getting a sale. Doesn't make sense of that. Then you're losing money. In the early days, though, that happens. Like, just to be real, this is depending on where you're at in your business as well. Like, in early days, you are spending a lot because you need to teach Meta who your customers are. But if you've been around the traps a little while, like I have, then set yourself a budget. And then what you do is you focus on all the other aspects of your business, and you will probably see your marketing efficiency ratio drop because you are spending time on all the other parts of your business. So you are doing product launches, and you are doing new releases, and you are on a new sales channel, or you are doing an influencer collaboration, like all the other things you can focus on. That is something I've really appreciated. And he has something called the CEO dashboard, which is, I feel like they're pivot tables. I don't really know what Excel pivot tables are, but he's built an app and it has at least 15 tabs down the side that are all giant interactive spreadsheets. Like, it is, when I first jumped into it, I thought, oh no, it's just no way I'm going to learn this, but I'm getting there. I am getting there after a month. It's starting to make sense. And what's amazing about it is it just highlights in big red blocks the things that need my attention. My profit margin isn't strong enough, so I know that I need to price my products differently. I paid too much for shipping. This was interesting because I knew it. You have a gut feeling about some stuff. It's good to see the data back that up. So is there something in your business you have a gut feeling about? And then you need to find the data to see if it's true or not, because you probably find it will back you up. I had a sense I was spending too much on shipping. I just knew it. And it was partly because a couple of products I had released in the last 6 months, I should never have released. They were too bulky and the dimensions were too large, and I didn't have the right packaging for them. I have spent more money in shipping these things to customers than I have made from them. I have lost a lot of money just getting this product I never should have ordered out the door because the dimensions were just not what I thought they were. I ordered the wrong thing completely one time in an order from the US, and it landed. I opened the box and I just about fell over. I'd spent $700 on the wrong size. I sell stickers and papers and things. I said the wrong size. I didn't have the packaging for it. The shipping is more than I can sell it for. Anyway, it's a disaster. He talks a lot about looking at your metrics, and this CEO dashboard that he has, or whatever he has equivalent in his other startup group, forces you to look at the different categories of where you're spending and pay attention to it. And I know I need to spend time paying attention to shipping because I knew that was probably an issue. And I'm spending too much based on his benchmarking on the businesses that he has been part of over the many years. He gives you like a little red, green or orange type traffic light little scenario. And my shipping is in red. And I did have that feeling. So it's good in one sense to see the data back it up. Of course, it's like, oh, no, but I have to address it. So it gives me something to go and solve. So that's been something I've spent a significant amount of time this month in, is getting into all of the data that I've sort of blissfully been unaware of for 2025. And profit's coming first now. I'm going to bank some money this year. I need to make far more this year than I did last year in profit. One thing that I found interesting, he doesn't talk about this kind of broadly on social media necessarily, but I have found interesting, he talks about discounts. There is a report in Shopify you can pull The report is total sales over time in Shopify. That's the report you want to find today. And you want to make sure you select on the right-hand side the fields to show discounts. There's a checkbox. Check that box, discounts. I want to know how much you are discounting in the last 365 days. Go and check out this metric. And this metric only relates to coupon codes. It doesn't even relate to things that you mark down, which is a whole nother discussion. But what percentage, like how much in dollar value have you discounted in the last year? This is insightful. For me, I was happy with the amount, so it was good. I looked at it and I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But I know I also discount manually a lot too, and I have a clearance collection. So this just shows me the amount in dollars I've discounted from coupon codes on my website, on Shopify. Go and have a look at this report for yourself. You might be staggered at how much, when you look at the revenue you've got, how many dollars you have discounted. It tells me in the last 12 months, I have discounted $8,000 in 12 months, which percentage-wise to my revenue is not bad. Like it's not too high. It's in probably the orange zone. It's okay. It's closer to green. But like I said, it's only coupon codes. So then you also need to consider if you have other products you manually discount or if you have a clearance collection. So the figure is probably a bit higher. So it is something I need to be mindful of. And he talks about this because he's talking about what if you just remove those altogether? Do you think you'd see a reduction in your conversion rate? Most people, most brands, most of us would feel like, yeah, I totally would. But he's very hot on like, well, but you don't know that. Like until you actually do it, you actually don't know that's true. So if you find you have discounted, if you look at the last 12 months of your data and find the discount dollar value is like, I don't know, $15,000, $30,000, could you imagine if you clawed back even some of that, not even all of it? So it's well worth the test. I thought that was really interesting. It wasn't a whole training he had. It was just something he was talking about on one of his calls. And I thought it was really beneficial. Again, it's all about the numbers and what's going on inside your business. So I encourage you to go check that out as well. How much are you paying for shipping? When you look at all of the cost of your shipping, is that something you should be paying attention to? And how much are you discounting? And is that something you want to look at too? Hey, what's the very next step in growing online for your e-commerce store? If you're on Shopify, if you have Klaviyo, if you have meta ads, or you need to leverage any of those platforms, I work on a project by project basis. So there's no like crazy long retainer you need to worry about signing up for if you work with me one-on-one for just 1 month. I can get you some emails sorted. Let's get your segments built in Klaviyo properly. Improve your deliverability score. Let's get you some revenue. You can actually see the metrics, see the revenue coming through. In 2025, email marketing made up 22% of my total revenue across the year, which was actually an increase of 80% on the year before. So I'm in a great position to support you as a small e-commerce store owner. If you are brand new to e-commerce, maybe you want to be DIYing these solutions for yourself. You want to jump into ads and build some ads, some audiences, some targeting yourself, get your Advantage Plus shopping campaign set up and all your creative firing. Please do so and listen to all my previous podcast episodes. There's no gatekeeping here. You can take all the information you want. Everything I share is results I see in my own ad account and my clients' ads accounts as well. It's experience from what is happening now in e-commerce because yes, I am still an e-commerce store owner. I'm still in the trenches with you guys. Please find me at Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. Book yourself a call. Let's chat. You won't regret it. And let's work together for a month and see where you want to go from there. Now, back to the episode. The last thing I want to share that he talks about, which has really struck home for me, is about launching new products. New products need to be launched more often. This is something he shares often in his teachings, which has really struck a chord with me. When I actually think back to the first 2 years of my e-commerce store, I was pumping out new products all the time. And he says you really can't grow without it. It's actually vital. There's very few brands in 2026 that can grow off the back of like 5 SKUs. It's just not as common as it was, I guess, in 2020. We think about comparing it to, you know, those crazy online shopping years, is that you need to be launching new products. What he says is a single hero product will eventually max out its addressable audience. This was like an alarm bell went off in my head when he said this. And since then, this month, I have launched 10 new products and many of them I have sitting around waiting for me to get on the website. You maybe also do as well. But if you have a volume of customers coming to your website, you have ads running, consistent sessions, consistent sales, but you haven't launched a new product in a while, drop a new product. You don't even make a big deal about it, but get that stock that you have in your house on the website and out there. Because let me read that again, because I think it's a really key point for us as e-commerce store owners to take on board, is that a single hero product will eventually max out its addressable audience. In other words, he says that some products might max out at $5,000 a month. You might not be able to eke out any more revenue than $5,000 a month. You might not be able to eke out any more revenue than $20,000 a month, or $100,000 a month, or $1,000 a month. There are just some products in some categories and some customers in Australia that just not enough to get more than that, no matter how much more you spend on ads, no matter how much more you try and push the messaging of that one product, until you bring in some supporting products behind it and start testing new things. One of my clients is at the Canton Fair in China at the moment. I said to him, are you going to bring back samples? Can you bring back some samples? Can you buy some stuff while you're there and bring it back and just sell it? Get it on your website and test it out. Because if people come to your website and see your hero product, but they don't like it, or it's not the right time, or they like you as a brand enough to check you out, but they don't connect with that exact product, if there's nothing else for them to buy, they're gone. You need other things for them to buy. And you also need to find that next hero product. For me, it was last year in September, I launched a product that became a hero product. But in the last couple of months, it's petered off and is now more of just a steady, consistent mover. But in the first few months, it went crazy huge. And I thought that would continue to do crazy huge. But I think I've maxed out the addressable market. I think it's now hit, it's just like blip, 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 sort of, sorry, that's a weird sound effect. Blip, 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 blip. It's just going to tick along now as part of my regular product range. But what's the next thing I need to find and bring in that would next be my next wow product that's also going to do gangbusters and get me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in revenue in the first month? And then it will also drop back and just go blip, 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 and become a regular part of my product range. Unless I'm like researching, that's the word, product research. Unless I'm like developing, sampling new products all the time, looking for the next one. At the moment, I have 3 new products I know that are on their way from China that are gradually, are going to be here in the next couple of months. That gets me a few things I need to launch. I have some more stock that arrived during a sale I had last week that I didn't want to put on the website because I was having a sale. Those new products I need to get on the website ASAP. The new product offering and rolling out new products is actually a really important part of growing an e-commerce store. It supports your returning customer rate as well. If you have nothing new and fresh to offer customers, they're not coming back to buy again. And if you have nothing new and fresh to offer, it also looks like your store is a little stagnant, I feel too. So when people come to your store, if they don't see anything new or fresh, they're bouncing because there's nothing new from last time they were there. They may think you're closing up shop. They may think you're not selling very much. They may think you're going to be gone soon, that you're just not worth visiting, I guess. Think about it with my consumer hat on. Like it makes a lot of sense. I think we've been sold a bit of a lie in e-commerce that you just need one product to make millions of dollars. And maybe if you're in the US, that is true. But they also have a lot more people than we do. Like here in Australia, I think we've been sold a bit of a lie, I feel like. So I think I spent a lot of 2025 trying to lean heavy on my existing product range instead of branching out and just like pumping out new stuff. And now I have started in the last month pumping out new stuff. My MER has dropped because of it. I'm sure, in fact, I know I'm not even just like, it's not even an inkling. I'm certain my marketing efficiency ratio has improved significantly this month because I have been pumping out a heap of new products. So I have been launching new products, and I have new products that I'm planning and researching and negotiating with suppliers and getting on boats sent here from overseas, from the US on a plane, from Japan on a plane, from China on a ship. They're getting sent to me here to roll out in the next few months. That will continue to support my revenue growing because it will only grow as I have more products to release and new fresh things to offer my customers, new things that they can be drawn to if they didn't like something else. It also helps me expand product categories. He also talks about product categories. Can you dip your toe into a new category inside your niche? So for me, I'm being very vulnerable here on this episode. I hope this is okay. For me, I have branched into glue. So I have now 2 different types of crafting glue that I offer that sits a bit outside my traditional niche of stickers and papers a little bit. It's a stationery category. It's kind of pivoting a little bit and branching out into a different category to broaden what it is I offer my customers. And glue is what went off last year for me that got me tens of thousands of dollars in revenue through when I launched it in 2025. And now I've lent into that a bit further. Now I've started offering a new product, which is a different type of glue again. So I'm trying to kind of cover all bases as far as becoming like the one-stop shop that crafters and journalers and people who love stickers and papers and keeping a diary, all those things I love to do. But there's only so many people that love that stuff. So again, he talks about you can't rely on like 5 SKUs. You cannot leave it into one SKU because there is only one total addressable market. And you could cap it out. You probably haven't capped it out yet. If you're listening to me, you probably haven't capped out that market yet because it requires a lot of money and a lot of dollars in advertising to reach those people and show everybody who might be interested in that product that you have. But if you at the moment are already showing people if you are already running a lot of ads and getting people to your website, but you only have that to offer, you're missing out on a heap of revenue and you're missing out on converting a heap of those users and visitors by them buying other things that you have as well in the meantime. Because they're going to decide later to buy this product you're pushing really hard, or they don't like it anyway and they're not going to, but they were interested enough as you as the founder and you as a brand and connected with your content to come to your website to see other things. So what other things have you got that you can show them? He also says regular new product launches mean that people who discovered your brand but weren't ready to buy or weren't interested in that one product now have reasons to purchase. It turns your audience into long-term asset rather than a one-shot opportunity, which ties directly into his emphasis on product breadth as a growth lever. Product breadth is a growth lever. This is one key takeaway I have absolutely felt like yes, hit me over the head with a bat this month in joining his group and jumping into some of his trainings and going back to look through some of the modules, which I was going to spend a significant amount of time this month doing, is new products and new product offering and about profitability and leaning into analysing and scrutinising all of your expenses and deciding what budget you're going to spend on certain categories and sticking to those, and then let Meta do its thing and then start addressing all the other parts of your business to grow it. For me, it might be Amazon. I think I've talked about that on here before as well, which I've done nothing about, but, I will eventually get around to it. He's also not heavy on sales. That's the last thing I'll say as well. He doesn't lean into sales actually hardly ever. He loves sales to get the stock gone. So if you have stock that's lingering, which is my issue, I ran a big sale last week. I have so much stock. I'm definitely overstocked. I have too much money tied up in inventory. He's really heavy on just get it out the door, move it, just get that money back, get the cash flow back, just get the money back and get that stock gone. And then don't buy it again. Just don't buy it again after that. Just buy the stuff that does really well, not the stuff you wish did really well. Buy the stuff that does really well. That's also another key insight I have learnt from him recently is buy the stuff that does sell well, not the stuff that I wish sold well. So many things to learn. Hey, this is obviously just such a personal episode. I hope this has been helpful for you in some regard. And I hope it's encouraging you to look. Many of you will be part of an e-commerce program as it is. I know there's many of them out there, and many of you are probably already in some sort of coaching group or a membership of some description. I often talk about Susan Bradley, the e-commerce roadmap. She's my favorite e-commerce guru of all time. I've said before, I told a client last week as well, because I've said it on many podcasts, but I would like to be her when I grow up. I'd like to be Susan Bradley when I grow up. She's from Canada. And I was part of her membership for 2 years, the most valuable 2 years and worth every cent that I spent being part of it. I encourage you to check out that. It's called the e-commerce roadmap. If you're looking for very cost-effective startup membership, if you are looking at some of the foundational parts of e-commerce, that will be a good fit. And then Paul Waddy is the one that I've joined recently, but the one I'm in is not cheap. It's really expensive. It's 4 times what I was paying e-commerce equation. So it's a lot, but I'm committed for a year now. which means I'll get every small bit of value out of it that I possibly can. And even just in the first month, the mindset shifts and giving me the slap I needed to start paying attention to those dollars and cents and my profit and loss statement, my QuickBooks account, where the money's going, and what percentage of my revenue should make up certain percentages, what should be shipping, what should be marketing, what should be product and development, what should be staff, what should be rent, all of those nitty-gritty things that I don't want to pay attention to as a business owner, but I know that that's how I will grow. I will not bank more money in profit this year if I don't pay attention to those things, because otherwise I'm just bleeding cash. And you might find the same. Like, growing a business is expensive, hey? Like, it costs us a lot of money. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You can find me at Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. As always, I'll see you next time. Keep learning.